The reason I started this YouTube channel was because I had a student come up to me and say, Professor Nez, I just spent $100,000 on a piece of paper and nobody will hire me. And I knew exactly why. So you think I'm surprised by any of these bureaucratic, soulless, very underhanded, narcissistic, just like clandestine language that these presidents of these top universities, not only in the United States of America, but some of these universities, Harvard, MIT, these are some of the top universities in the world. University of Pennsylvania. You think I'm surprised? This is why I got out of the game. I know exactly who Claudine Gay is. I know exactly who Liz Magel is. I know I've seen and worked with these people every single day for the past 20 years. Thank God I can make this video finally, because I am not beholden. My paycheck, my ability to raise my family, take care of my kids, my mortgage is not tied to these institutions anymore. So I can speak freely. I can tell you the truth. It doesn't surprise me one bit. Okay, these people, the ability to speak directly, the ability to be just clear and anchored in reality and actually be spurned to innovation, be incentivized to actually stay abreast in their industry is a capital zero. Nil. Not a whole lotta. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. They don't care. They just don't care. And this indoctrination, this mentality, it bleeds into every other artery of life. This type of corporate condescension, that's the kind of language they use, this corporate, excuse me, what's the context? It depends on the context. I can't answer a very, very simple question. Is the absolute decimation of an entire group of people based on their background, race, ethnicity, is that wrong? They can't answer that plainly and directly. They have to go into the cauldron of evil and concoct this corporate condescending language. What's the context? If conduct equals to shut up, you think I'm surprised? I'm not surprised one bit. I've been saying it for decades. These institutions are antiquated. They're 100 years old. It's a waste of your hard-earned dollar. I'm not usually this heated. I'm not usually this amped, but enough is enough. And it's so inspiring. It is so refreshing to see people finally wake up. To see people finally realize, holy mackerel, these educational institutions are actually completely full of crap. I was in the public sector. I helped my mom start her, leather shoe business, brick and mortar handbag business back in, 1992, 93. In my late 20s, I decided, I've had enough of this rat race. I was kind of going through probably one of many midlife crises, mental collapse, etc., etc. A lot of anxiety, a lot of searching, a lot of skepticism, disillusionment, etc. And so I decided to leave the private sector. And I said, I'm going to go back and get my master's degree. I'm going to be a teacher. I love literature. I love art. It'd be nice to be in a different environment, one that's not so cutthroat and, eye for an eye, and, the whole world of commerce can be, if you're in that, the needle is usually in the red, especially if you're a business owner. I wanted a change of pace, a change of life. I thought, man, I'm going to collaborate and build partnerships and relationships and the camaraderie of talking about Dostoevsky and Walt Whitman and arts, where commodity is no issue and there won't be any competitiveness and cutthroatness, etc. Holy macadamia nut, was I surprised. Not even surprised. I was completely floored. Not only was it not like that, it was 10 times worse. You will not find a hedge fund office on Wall Street that compares to the narcissism, the ego, the backstabbing, the cutthroatness that is higher education. OMG. They are brutal killers. And the scary part is the real danger and the fear and the just mind-blowing hypocrisy is that they come with you like the mafia, with smiles, with their arm around your shoulder, with this pat on your head, corporate condescending language. They manipulate language and they talk down to you. So, am I surprised at these university presidents? Am I surprised that this is how academia reacts to a very simple, straightforward, should be a capital Y-E-S? Yes, we are against the killing and genocide of an entire group of people based on their background. Why am I not surprised? Because this is how they are. They cannot speak plainly. They cannot stand for anything. They always come with a facade, while behind the scenes, they are up to no good. And your best interest, parents, students, lifelong learners, etc., adult learners, young learners, whatever, your best interest takes a backseat to their self-interest. People say politicians are bought and sold. University presidents are bought and sold. I've taught at some of the best top private schools in the land. I've also taught at some of the state public schools that were considered some of the top in the land. They're all the same. They're all the same. The desire for power, the, at all costs process of going after it, the, egos, the narcissism, it's all there. And I think it's even tenfold more at the university level. I don't think they have a care in the world. I know a lot of you guys will share your stories. You'll share your comments. I know there's millions of adjunct professors like me who feel the same way. I have a vehement disapproval of anything tenure, because tenure to me, it's the ultimate protection for laziness. It's the ultimate protection and security for lack of innovation. And COVID was probably the perfect expose into how lacking of innovation, lacking of real applicable, learning that applied to people's lives, the university and the entire educational system, really in North America, frankly, is. If there's one good thing we can say that came out of COVID, is that it exposed this antiquated educational system of ours, especially higher education. So I'm not surprised at all. And I'm not surprised at all that the top university in our country, and one of the top universities in the world, one of the oldest, most historical universities in the world, I just got word that they're going to keep President Gay. They're going to keep her on. They're not going to force her to resign. They're not even going to force her to do anything. And even though plagiarism has now been a extremely sustainable, viable piece of evidence to impart her resignation or termination, more aptly, her comments, her stances, her repeated historical track record of being very, very one-sided when it came to perspectives on society and human relationships and equity. So I'm not surprised at all, because they protect their own. This is the ideology. This is the indoctrination that these universities embody. Claudine Gay is the president of the top school in the land. And if they're allowing her to get away with it, if that is an institution that loses credibility, what can we say about the university that you're thinking of attending, that your kid is attending, that you're maybe thinking of, somebody in your family is thinking of applying to, or is learning and enrolled right now in? Think about it. The top university in the land. If the top university in the land doesn't abide by its own Title X guidelines of plagiarism, of integrity in academic work, there is substantial evidence that President Gay plagiarized her entire thesis amongst other works. I mean, any other student, any other faculty, any other a member of this institution would be gone yesterday. Why is she still there? You have to ask this question. It's extremely important. I'm not surprised one bit, sadly. This is why I started this channel. This is why. Because I left the university not because I didn't like doing what I do, which is teaching and collaborating and inspiring, hopefully, my students. I loved my students. It's the bureaucracy. It's the absolute vileness of the infrastructure around these universities that is so not only antiquated and backwards and 100 years old and doesn't map to the real world, but actually wants to perpetuate and indoctrinate an ideology that is so vehemently opposed to the fundamentals of what education should be, what our country, the United States of America, should be, our values, our principles, our beliefs. Not even the values and principles that they purport are they willing to abide by. So, it's really interesting. I did this video on, is a college degree worth it? I'll leave it here in the description. I'll leave it here in the end card too. I'll leave it in the comments. I also did another video on, is a medical degree worth it? Which I'm going to be doing some follow-up from, because I got a doctor, one in specific, surgeon, who replied with, let's just say, a very heated opinion, to put it mildly. I've got a response video to that coming out soon. I am so, it's kind of, I feel conflicted, because I'm energized for the cause. I am galvanized by what's been happening lately with the ousting of these American universities that are just an absolute abomination. But at the same time, I'm extremely deflated and sad, because I love education. Education is what I'm all about. And these institutions were something that we held as the highest bar, and they've let us all down repeatedly. And so it's a really conflicting thing, but this is what this channel is all about. This channel and what I do is hopefully about inspiring you and, helping you to really acquire the lifelong skills that allow you to earn the kind of money you deserve. So if this is something that interests you, hang out. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's been your experience? What are your thoughts on all the controversy that's been happening? There's also an SNL skit that got a lot of controversy that was mocking the congressional hearings. Go check out this other video on college degree worth it, medical degree worth it. Go check those videos out. Leave a comment. Let me know. I respond to all the comments personally. Thank you for listening. I can't wait to hear from you. I'll see you soon.